Arizona Cardinals offensive tackle Kelvin Beachum is joining more than just pancaking opposing pass rushers this season. Beachum has been working with charities investing in tech and delivering speeches in corporations. Now Kelvin is joining us now. Kelvin Beachum, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
It's great to have you on the show. Now, you participated in the NFL's My Cause, My Cleats campaign just this month. Can you tell us a little bit more about the cleats that you chose to wear and why this cause was so important to you?
So this year, I chose to wear cleats that were created by the NYSE Creative Arts Agency, a local agency here in town, arts agency here in town. Chose to support World Vision. I've been working with them for a number of years, providing access to clean water globally. Actually went to Lusaka, Zambia a couple of years ago. So a huge issue around the world when you talk about access to clean water, and something that I'm deeply passionate about.
But what inspired you? I know that you said that you're deeply inspired to do this work, but what inspired you to begin with to really give back through charitable work, and how did you decide which causes that you wanted to support?
You know, the thing is, I've done a lot of work here domestically around access to just hunger, just food insecurity. Have worked the world, feeding America here in town and here in the country. But the thing is, when you talk about things globally, you don't get to talk about hunger if you can't talk about access to clean water. So when you think about some of the basic human rights, just realize that that was something that I can really lean into, especially on the global front. But considering the things that I'm doing here domestically with food insecurity, just realized that that was a much different type of conversation that needed to be had on a global front, and it's something I've been working at for a couple of years now.
And what drew you to the tech industry?
You know, for one, is continuing to be innovative. It's continuing to grow. I mean, I know you're right there on the New York Stock Exchange right now. But for me, this is where global wealth, and this is where capital markets are really continuing to be something that many athletes don't know about. But something that I feel is a place that I want to be for the rest of my career, not only while I'm playing, but once I transition from the game.
But Kelvin, how do you decide what startups that you want to work with? What do you have a certain criteria that you follow?
Yeah. You know, the thing is, at the end of the day, is who do I want to spend the next 10 to 20 years with? You know, these startups, are sometimes 7-year bets, 12-year bets, 15-year bets. I mean, if you look at, some of the companies that are locked up in the private market right now that are getting ready to head into IPO, they've been private for 10 years. So at the end of the day, it's what type of relationship do I want to have with these founders as they're building their companies, starting pre-seed, seed sometimes. And you think about, like I said, those that are locked up right now, pre-IPO, they've been private for a long time. So, it really depends on the relationship, first and foremost, that you have with these founders.
But, being an NFL player is hugely demanding while also making time for your philanthropy work, investments, and speaking engagement. How do you balance it all?
The thing is, I think we all should be asking Elon Musk and Sam Altman that same question. The thing is, everybody has 24 hours in the day, and it all depends on how you use it. The NFL is demanding. Yes, it requires a lot of time. Yes, being a dad requires time. These types of engagements, they do require time, but it's about integration. How do you find ways to integrate all these things together? And I think there are many different modes and many different people across different markets and different categories and different sectors that have found ways to integrate both the family life and what they're doing professionally into their daily lives, which makes them extremely successful and extremely elite at what they do.
Now, when you're delivering speeches to corporations, other entrepreneurs, or even people who are just trying to start off in the NFL league, right? What are some of the key lessons or themes that you really aim to convey?
I always go back to the process. Right now we're in the thick of a playoff hunt, and the conversations that we continue to have, it's all about the process. What is the process that you're working on? What is the process that you're putting together? And sometimes it's the mundane. Are you falling in love with the mundane? And that's something that I talk about a lot, because at the end of the day, it's the fundamentals that you have to continue to lean on, whether it's financial markets, whether it's capital markets, whether it's the private markets, the alts, whether it's philanthropy, whether it's being a football player, whether it's being a dad. It's the fundamentals. And if you're willing to consistently be entrenched and engaged in the details of those fundamentals, that process orientation will continue to be what carries you, through the ebbs and flows of life.
A lot of important takeaways right there. Thank you again, Arizona Cardinals offensive lineman Kelvin Beachum.